listened closely alongside her attorneys in the courtroom and at one point even nodded in approval at one of the candidates' answers. Richins is facing a number of charges, including aggravated murder and attempted murder. She could face life in prison if she's convicted. The court's expected to finalize the jury next week. The trial set to begin on the 23rd of this month. In Park City, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time 3:01. Our top national story this hour in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. This is the first major development in days. The FBI has coaxed video out of that doorbell camera.
These images are like something out of your worst nightmare. Nighttime photos showing a man in a full ski mask with only his eyes and his mouth showing. He had a zip-up sweatshirt on and gloves and is wearing a backpack. He appears to bash the doorbell camera. In one image, he seems to be holding flowers or brush up to the camera. He's holding a flashlight in his mouth in one of the pictures. It's pretty incredible Google was able to retrieve these images. Google owns Nest, the camera company. Because Nancy Guthrie wasn't paying for a subscription, they said that there were no images stored, but through a back-end system, the FBI says the images were recovered.
That's ABC's Alex Stone. You can see the images and the video of the masked man at our website, KSLNewsRadio.com. Former FBI agent Greg Rogers says that we can learn a few things from the footage that was released, one of which that the intruder seems sloppy.
Where he's wearing his firearm and the way he's carrying that shows a real lack of any kind of tactical knowledge, and the use of the greenery or whatever he grabbed to try to cover the camera, again, that shows a real lack of preparation. I mean, it's a piece of duct tape, spray paint, all sorts of things he could have had in that backpack would have been much more effective and would have shown a more preparation.
Greg says that in all high-profile kidnappings he's seen, there's been a direct contact between the kidnapper and the family, something he says he doesn't think is happening here. A man was arrested in West Valley City this morning, accused of firing a gun into his neighbor's apartment. Officers called to the neighbor's home just after midnight, found a hole in their bedroom wall. The 22-year-old arrested told officers it's a new revolver, and he thought it was unloaded when he practiced firing. It was loaded. KSL News Time 3:03 today. President Dallin H. Oaks gave his first public address as prophet of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He spoke to students at BYU about holding fast to their commitment to the Lord and the church. He said those of diminishing faith and activity in the church are a major concern.
God is relentless in his loving pursuit of each of you. Keep the commandments and be true to the covenant so many of you have made to guide you along the covenant path. Never let your secular learning limit your horizons.
President Oaks also talked about humility. He said with humility, people are better able to hear the voice of the Lord and follow his teachings. KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff talked with some of the attendees at the BYU devotional.
The students I talked to say they love President Oaks' messages of service, humility, and faith.
I love the devotional. I think it was such a unique experience. It's not something that happens every day that a prophet of the Lord visits our campus.
I like the part when he said that serve other people first and humility follows.
My favorite part was when he talked about just surrounding yourself with good people, just having people that uplift you and have the same values as you.
Some of those I talked to say so many people wanted to attend that a lot of people had to be turned away. Reporting from outside the Marriott Center in Provo, Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
The American Heart Association's encouraging Utah schools to have a plan in case someone goes into cardiac arrest. Shay Johnson is an ICU nurse and is Miss Rocky Mountain 2026. She was on Utah's Capitol Hill today supporting the bill that would require an action plan.
There are several people on the campus trained in how to perform cardiopulmonary resuscitation and the use of automated external defibrillators. This would also implement the funding to have automated external defibrillators in schools, which they can be very expensive, but this is what this bill would help with. Johnson
says 23,000 children went into sudden cardiac arrest last year in the U.S. KSL News Time 3:06, time for First Look Traffic. We turn to Ricky Meese. Good afternoon.
We have two crashes. This is in the Salt Lake County. First is on 5400 South at 5600 West, and then southbound Mountain View Corridor at 90th South.
You're not Ricky. You're not Ricky. I know it.
Sorry to surprise you, Jeff.
No worries. Lockout.
I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
There you go. KSL News Time 3:06. My Minute's on the way next.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Join Mike Stevens of Capital Wealth Advisors for Retire Right Radio, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. That's Retire Right Radio with Mike Stevens, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m.
If you've ever experienced running out of hot water before your shower was done, or hard water spots on dishes and fixtures, I've got a deal you might be interested in. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and you probably already know that a tankless water heater and a water softener solve both issues. If you've ever thought about looking into getting a tankless water heater, here's the deal I was talking about. Through the end of February, we're including a free water softener with every new tankless water heater we install. The best part of this deal might be that you never have to worry about being the last one to the shower again, or that you don't have to waste the money keeping 40 to 50 gallons of water hot 24/7. To take advantage of this deal, call Any Hour Services before the end of February. The visit's free and there's no obligation to buy. If you decide to have us install a new tankless water heater, we'll throw in the water softener for free. That's right, a free water softener when you purchase a tankless water heater. Pick up the phone and call Any Hour Services right now for all the details. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. At the Winter Games, we've been watching the best ice skaters in the world jump, dance, leap, and pirouette. We've watched the toe loops and the lutzes and the triple axels and even the salchows. I had to look it up. A salchow is a jump where you're going backwards and leap off the inside edge of one skate and land on the outside edge of the other. It is named after Swedish skater Ulrich Salchow. He invented the move in 1909, but I digress. Watching Ilya Malinin twist and flip his way to the podium, I'm left with one question. How do they do those spins where they turn into a blur and avoid getting dizzy?
Round like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel.
Well, you can find out for yourself how they do it. There are plenty of YouTube videos that teach you how to be a figure skating champion.
Your right foot is going to do a half swizzle or pumping motion around.
Everybody knows that if you watch enough YouTube videos, you're an expert. So Google figure skating tricks and book your flight for the Winter Games in France in 2030. But if you don't want to do the work, I'll tell you how skaters avoid getting dizzy, and it's pretty simple.
Never ending or beginning on an ever-spinning reel.
Day after day, they've conditioned their brains to shut off the dizziness, and they come out of those spins with perfect balance and elegance. A biomedical engineering professor at Johns Hopkins told CNN, your head has rotation sensors that are filled with fluid. When you stop, the fluid keeps going and it confuses you. That is dizziness. And skaters train their brains to ignore it through practice. If you played pin the tail on the donkey 10 times every day, you'd never get dizzy. And these world-class skaters are literally shutting off their minds to spin like windmills.
In the windmills of your mind.
It's pretty remarkable.
Jeff Caplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.44% savings at UCCU.com. Corbin, I blew your first intro on our show. I'm so sorry. Corbin Bone has the traffic.
Don't worry about it, Jeff. We've got the normal delays already waiting for you southbound I-15 from the South Interchange to 7200 South in Midvale. Otherwise, I-15 still looking really strong all throughout Salt Lake. We've got I-80 clean and clear from downtown all the way into Park City, and northbound I-15 through Davis and Weber County, still a clean and clear drive. You got those normal delays on Highway 89 both directions at Harrison Boulevard and Skyline Drive, and again at the mouth of Weber Canyon. Eric.
Crash is being cleared over on Mountain View Corridor at 90th South, and that's right in the middle of the intersection. So we've got some major slowdowns starting at 7800 South. So if you're southbound on Mountain View Corridor at 201 Highway, you might want to think of an alternate route, maybe Bangerter Highway, or else you're gonna have to account for some extra time for those delays. Down Utah County, I-15 northbound, southbound, both of those look good. Performance Automotive in Bountiful, endless possibilities with 3 locations: Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, and Performance Toyota, where excellence is standard. Start your search at performancebountiful.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, calling for a high of 48 today. Mostly cloudy, PM shower possible. Breezy tomorrow, 56, showers. Valley rain showers and mountain snow showers Thursday, high of 50. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
We're at 45 in Salt Lake City. There are some showers around Provo, around Sandy, around Lehigh. Today's huge development in the Nancy Guthrie case will get covered by ABC's Alex Stone. He's going to join us live in just a few minutes. Stay with us. We're streaming live on the KSL News Radio app. You can listen on your phone. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. So Super Bowl Sunday, did you remember your vow to lose weight this year? You valiantly started a diet, and if everything fell apart in a sea of 7-layer dip over the weekend, Salt Lake City Fat Loss is going to give you a do-over. I am very comfortable recommending SLC Fat Loss because I lost 32 pounds in 6 short weeks. I've kept the weight off for 6 months now, and right now, they'll give you $200 off to help get you back on track. So what is SLC Fat Loss? It's a doctor-developed, all-natural diet that speeds up your metabolism and helps you lose up to 1 pound of fat per day. No weight loss injections, none of the side effects, and no workouts. You don't have to buy any prepackaged meals. On their special app, live counselors guide you, and a lot of people lose 1 pound a day. But find out for yourself at slcfatloss.com. When you're there, book a 15-minute appointment on the phone and you'll get $200 off. It's time to lose the weight. I did. I feel great, and you can too. slcfatloss.com.
You know, it's frustrating. It really is. You work your tail off for 40-plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn around and they waste your money. Americans are getting fed up, rightfully so. And that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with a free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. Call today, 801-896-9622. That number again, 801-896-9622.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When you need the financial products and services for every stage of life, Cyprus Credit Union is there for whatever the future holds. Visit cypruscu.com today.
KSL News Time, 3:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a new audit is bringing several issues within the Department of Health and Human Services to light, revealing more than 2 million people's data could be compromised. I'm KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Second, today marks the halfway point of Utah's 2026 legislative session. Utahns have been watching closely as lawmakers debate everything from traffic rules to wages. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
That's southbound Mountain View Corridor. We got a crash closing southbound traffic at 90th South. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Cloudy again today with a slight chance for some isolated showers. I'm Matt Johnson.
45 at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Now, our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Arizona, the FBI releasing images and video showing a masked individual outside the home of Nancy Guthrie. The White House says President Trump is standing by Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who admitted today to lawmakers he visited Jeffrey Epstein's island.
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island.
Emails in the Epstein files differ from Lutnick's earlier accounts that he's saying he did not have contact with Epstein once he was a convicted sex offender. The White House also not offering clarification on new details in the Epstein files involving President Trump.
A former Palm Beach police chief who was investigating sex trafficking allegations against Epstein says he told the FBI that President Trump called him in 2006, according to a source familiar with the timing, and told him, quote, "Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this." Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said she didn't know whether that call happened then.
What I'm telling you is that what President Trump has always said is that he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of his Mar-a-Lago club because Jeffrey Epstein was a creep, and that remains true. And this call, if it did happen, corroborates exactly what President Trump has said from the beginning.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
You're listening to ABC News.
KSL News Time, 3:18. As you've been hearing, tech experts have rescued the video from Nancy Guthrie's doorbell cam. The video and the still images are everywhere on the internet. ABC's Alex Stone is joining us live. Alex, thanks for coming on. We clearly see a guy in a mask. Is somebody supposed to recognize him?
Well, they're hoping so. And this video that you are going to see everywhere on your feeds and on the news tonight, really chilling video. And it is like something out of a nightmare. It is the boogeyman that, as you were a kid, you'd think of a boogeyman on your front doorstep. That's who this is. And he's covered totally in a mask, only his eyes and his mouth showing, the flashlight in his mouth, gloves on, zip-up sweatshirt, gun in his waistband, backpack on. And it appears that he's got facial hair on the upper lip and below his lower lip as well, just based on the little amount that's showing. But what they are hoping, Jeff, is that putting this out, that somebody is going to say, I know that walk, I know that sweatshirt, I know that backpack, I know that's how, my brother, my coworker, my friend carries their gun like that in the front waistband, and that somebody is going to, and maybe they are right now, going to be calling in a tip. Back in the Boston Marathon bombing, they were out of leads. They didn't know which way to go. They got an image of the suspects. They put it out, and immediately they had tips on who it was. It's somebody out there, as Savannah Guthrie said today, somebody out there knows who this person is. And we just have to wait now for the crowdsourcing of the world to say, hey, I know that guy, and to make the call to the FBI.
I'm sure between people calling the FBI tip line and all the internet sleuths, hopefully we'll hear something shortly. ABC's Alex Stone joining us live. KSL News Time, 3:19. Traffic and weather together now, brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. Here's Cormac Bone.
We've got reports of a crash in Salt Lake at 1300 South and 700 West. Otherwise, it's normal delays on I-15 southbound at the South Interchange going down into Midvale near 7200 South. Northbound I-15 through Davis and Weber counties, you're not going to see any delays on your way out of downtown. But you do have those normal spotty delays all across SR 193 through Davis County. Eric.
On slowdowns, Mountain View Corridor because of a crash at 90th South. The backup starts at 7800 South. Once you go further down the line, got some usual slowdown spots on Mountain View, especially approaching SR 73. Nothing major yet in Utah County, and the freeway looks good in Utah County too, northbound and southbound. Are you tired of dealing with missing teeth? Are you ready to ditch the dentures? The experts at Stubbs Dental can change your life with dental implants. Get started at stubbsdental.com today. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast, 48 today, mostly cloudy skies, and a chance for a PM shower possible. Showers likely on your Wednesday, 56, breezy. More valley rain and mountain snow showers Thursday, 50. 47 and partly cloudy on Friday. Saturday we're going to go 51, partly cloudy, mostly cloudy skies as we move into Sunday, but the winds pick up out of the south. More wind on Monday, cloudy, 30% chance for a shower. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
45 degrees, 7-day
Winter
forecast.
Games Trivia on Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News.
Yes,
Brought to you by America First Credit Union.
Yes, it's time for Winter Games Trivia on Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News. Your chance to win a Winter Games swag bag. All you have to do is go to ksl.com/win to enter your answer to today's question. One winner's chosen each day. And congratulations to Friday's winner, Daniel Carr from Centerville. So here's today's question. What color is the Olympic ring that represents Europe? Quick, go to ksl.com/win and enter and see Team USA's women's hockey tonight. Coverage from 7 to 10 p.m. on KSL TV. And for you, well, good luck. Winter Games Trivia brought to you by America First Credit Union. America First Credit Union can help you reach any financial goal faster. So become a member at americafirst.com today. I have some good news for you today. Pay attention, pull over, whatever. American Home Loans has lowered their mortgage rates to only 5.5% on 30-year loans and 4 3/4 for 15 years. Yes, 5.5% fixed. But wait, what if rates go down again? No problem. Once you're a customer with American Home Loans, you don't have to worry about paying closing costs every time you refinance. That's right. Every time rates drop by 0.25% or more, they'll refinance you at no cost to you. Zero, zilch, nada. For details, call 801-262-2221. 262-2221. So now you can purchase a home or refinance at only 5.5% on 30 years and 4 3/4 on 15 years. And then if rates drop later, you can refinance at no cost to you. Call American Home Loans at 801-262-2221. 262-2221 or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. AmericanHomeLoans.com. NMLS 245422, APR 5.8 30-year and 5% 15-year. Terms and conditions apply.
The Management Minute is a service of the MBA program at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. I was asked to coach a senior leader who was described by his colleagues as being aloof and difficult. As I observed, I noted that he rarely listened. Without fully understanding, he would then offer thick, layered advice. This is what I did. I put a timer on his desk and said, for the first 10 minutes of any meeting, you cannot do anything but ask questions. But they cannot be questions disguised as advice. They must be non-prescriptive questions like, say more about that. How do you feel about that? What did you think about that? The turnaround was amazing. I can't believe what I've been missing, he told me. My colleagues are much smarter than I understood. My job is to give them confidence, not answers. Learn more about non-prescriptive questions with an MBA from Utah State. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
We're watching Utah's Money. Super Sunday was a huge day for the prediction markets. Kalshi says trading volume, meaning the amount of money that was bet, was over $1 billion. It's a 3,000% increase in a single year. And by the way, the ratings for the Super Bowl still aren't out yet. We're expecting them this afternoon. Ford reported its first quarterly miss in 12 years. The automaker at the bell today said they fell below Wall Street expectations. CNBC says tariffs are partly to blame. Some comfort for investors as Ford is predicting a rebound year this time around. On Wall Street today, the Dow was up 52 points, the S&P down 23, the Nasdaq fell 136 points.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through March 22nd, switch to Comcast Business and get started with 150 megabit internet plus Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or ask how to lock in your rate for 5 years on a qualifying internet bundle and get a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. For a limited time only. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by UCCU. Up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. Here's Cormac Bone.
Normal commute delays are starting to grow. It starts at 5300 south of Murray, reaches down to 7200 south of Midvale. It's slowest at the south interchange, but otherwise southbound I-15, you're in the clear from Midvale to the point of the mountain. Northbound I-15 shouldn't see any issues all throughout Salt Lake Valley. On the I-215 south belt from the south interchange around to the east belt, also a problem-free drive. In Weber and Davis counties, we're seeing a little bit of southbound delays through Farmington on I-15, but otherwise a clean drive on I-15 through Weber and Davis. And spotty delays, SR 193 from 2000 west to Hill Air Force Southgate. Eric.
All better now. Mountain View Corridor southbound 7800 south to where we had a crash at 90th south. Two Brothers Mattress, prices don't get lowered. Then the President's Day sale. Best prices now on all Serta mattresses. Visit twobrothersmattress.com. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Mostly cloudy skies as a small storm system approaches the west coast today. I've got clouds and maybe a PM shower possible later this evening, high of 48. 56 tomorrow, breezy, chance for valley rain and mountain snow. Showers persist into Thursday, especially in the morning. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
We have showers around Provo where it's 46 degrees, cloudy and 47 in Ogden. Down in St. George, partly cloudy and 58 degrees.
You're listening to Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM
and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon, 3:30 at KSL. Jeff Caplan here. It's 45 in Salt Lake City. KSL's top story. Chances are your sensitive personal data has been put in danger by the Utah Department of Health and Human Services. 2 million names are at risk, and we get the story from KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Too many people have access to that data. That's what a new report from the Office of the Utah State Auditor says. It also says there's not a great way to monitor who has it or who does what with it. The same audit found a lack of monitoring and quality control with the Division of Child and Family Services Public Records Request Team, with several instances of sensitive documents being released to the wrong person. Staff also expressed confusion when it came to incident response and training programs, saying the policies are poorly defined and they don't really know what to do. The auditor's office is now recommending the department review access privileges, staffing, and the roles and responsibilities of each employee. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Yeah, the state auditor, Tina Cannon, told Midday that the oversight that gives too many people access to sensitive data includes situations about child abuse and neglect.
These are families and children in their most vulnerable moments of time, and the access to that information is just too broad. You can imagine in those most sensitive moments, you want the most protection possible over what happened and how it happened.
Cannon says this type of info should be on a need-to-know basis and that not every social worker should have access to every case that's out there. She says there are other areas within Health and Human Services that even better protect, with even better protocols in place, and that this is an urgent matter and needs to be treated as such. KSL News Time 3:32. Our top national story, they won't call him a suspect, but the FBI has finally released a video of a masked man at Nancy Guthrie's front door. The latest from ABC's Aaron Katursky in Tucson.
They appear to come from the doorbell camera here at Nancy Guthrie's home that had been tampered with, according to the FBI. And if you look at these images that appear in black and white, you see an individual who appears to be wearing a backpack and a mask and gloves. And one of those images quite up close to the doorbell camera, the FBI says that is the individual tampering with the camera.
Though his face is covered, someone could recognize the man's build, his clothing, his backpack, even his eyes. The video and still images can be seen at our website, kslnewsradio.com. The leaders of ICE were grilled by the House Homeland Security Committee today, and it was not a walk in the park. This is California Democrat Eric Swalwell.
Mr. Lyons, will you apologize to the family of Renee Good for being called a domestic terrorist by the president and his leadership?
No, sir.
Why not?
Sir, I welcome the opportunity to speak to the family in private, but I'm not going to comment on any active investigation.
Todd Lyons insisted ICE arrests are targeted, but Democrats claim the majority of those detained have no criminal record. The Mormon Women for Ethical Government are getting involved in the federal lawsuit over Utah's new congressional map. One of the group's leaders says they've been fighting for this new map since day one, and they're going to fight to stop this lawsuit.
As one of the original plaintiffs in the state case, it's this, we have the same group of people that are involved in this federal case. So we have us and the League of Women Voters, and then the individual Utah voters from across the political spectrum.
That's Emma Petty Adams, who says this week Mormon Women for Ethical Government will file a motion to dismiss the federal case. Utah's governor has a message for the world that you shouldn't believe everything you hear about America, that you should come see for yourself by visiting Utah.
Governor Spencer Cox was asked about disparaging comments made by President Trump about Olympic athletes and the perception of the U.S. overseas at a time when the news is filled with images of protests and violence. The governor says it's important to remember that those snippets on the news don't represent the country or Utah as a whole.
I hope you get a chance to come and visit Utah. You will find it still a very welcoming place, as you will the rest of the United States too. We are a very welcoming country.
The governor also pointed out that the 8 years between now and 2034 is a long time. Time enough, he says, to resolve those issues and embrace the unifying spirit of the Games. Becky Bruce, KSL News Radio.
The 2026 Winter Games on KSL News Radio, brought to you by America First Credit Union.
Now it's this day in history of the Winter Games. It was on this day in 2014. The Netherlands got a podium sweep in the Sochi Winter Games. Here's KSL News Radio's Reagan Edelman.
The men's 500 meters race ended with 3 Dutch athletes on the podium on February 10th, 2014. But that was a big year for the Netherlands speed skating team in general. Just a couple days before, they received a sweep in the 5,000 meter race. Then later, the 4 frontrunners in the women's 1,500 meter were all from the Netherlands. And the podium was once again all Dutch athletes in the men's 10,000 meter. They were the first nation to ever achieve 4 podium sweeps in a single Winter Games.
That year, the Dutch speed skating team took home 23 of the country's 24 total medals. This day in history of the Games brought to you by America First Credit Union. America First can help your money do more. That's why Utahns choose them more than any other credit union. Join today at americafirst.com. KSL News Time 3:36. We have first look traffic. Here's Cormac Bone.
Normal delays southbound I-15 going from Murray into Midvale, but where delays are going to grow is eastbound on the 201 highway due to a crash in Magna. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Yeah, first lick traffic, that kind of applies. Stay here. My Minute of News is on the way next.
Amanda, one of my favorite things to do when I go to the theater is laugh. Any show, it doesn't matter. So one that's designed to make me laugh from start to finish, boy, that is in my wheelhouse. And that's what we've got with Peter Pan Goes Wrong.
When we went into the theater, I'm not sure what we were expecting, but we started laughing early on. And then I realized, I'm laughing that big, loud, obnoxious laugh of mine. But mine wasn't the loudest laugh in the theater. We were all laughing, and that made it more fun.
But you walk in, it actually takes a second to realize, wait, this is actually funny from the moment the curtain rises, and it makes you laugh all the way to the end.
We need that, Andy. Don't we need that?
Oh, it's so helpful, and it's so fun to do in a group of people. It just makes everything more enjoyable.
This is in the Jewel Box stage, and then in the brand new theater.
We've got more laughs with Hallmarked, a spoof on that brand new stage, a new theater at Hale Center Theater to enjoy.
And you can still get season tickets and enjoy all of the wonderful shows, including Anastasia, to finish out the year at Hale Center Theater.
So you can get tickets by calling the box office at 801-984-9000 or online at hct.org.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. Imagine the lonely life of a short track speed skater. They show up to practice at the Oval every morning in the bitter cold, and they toil the entire day, making left turns as fast as they can. Aside from the boredom of circling a tiny track, the endless left turning takes an incredible toll. These guys work the muscles on the right side of their bodies so hard they end up lopsided. If you ask a speed skater about the symmetry of his body, he'll probably say, "Isn't it obvious? Come on, I lean." It's an unavoidable side effect you probably wouldn't notice unless you stared at a skater's lower body. But come on, these guys lean. The overdeveloped right leg is a side effect of the endless training. Because of the difference between right and left, the U.S. skaters are put through a computer evaluation called the asymmetry test that checks whether the balance is getting too far out of whack. Some statistics. The circumference of the average speed skater's right thigh is about a quarter inch bigger than the left. The right quad bulges just above the knee from the pushing. The lower back muscle on the right is a little bigger, and yes, the right butt cheek is more curvaceous. They lean. Their center of gravity is different than yours, and it matters. Try this. Stand with your right side flush against a wall. Now try to lift your left leg. You can't. The wall blocks you from shifting your center of gravity. These skaters have shifted theirs. When they run to the right, they feel like they're going to fall. They lean. Some skaters admit it's a little uncomfortable when they leave the ice, but it's nothing a gold medal won't cure.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.44% on savings at UCCU.com. The latest from Cormac Bone.
No issues on I-80 from South Salt Lake to Park City. You are going to see that normal commute congestion from Murray into Midvale, 5300 South, southbound I-15 to 7200 South into Midvale. Northbound I-15 shouldn't see any issues going from downtown Salt Lake all the way into Ogden, where we do have delays in Weber County. This is southbound Highway 89 coming down the hill and approaching the I-84 interchange at the mouth of Weber Canyon. Eric.
Just some of the busy streets in Utah County are busy once again to start the afternoon commute. University Avenue in Provo from the freeway up to the BYU campus. University Parkway from State Street over to past the south end of UVU to I-15. And I-15 looks solid throughout, so we don't have any problems there. We are starting to see congestion start to build if you're exiting I-15 at 2100 North and Lehigh and start heading west out towards Redwood Road. Are you in the hunt for that next big hunt? Then head to HuntExpo.com and you'll find it. Western Hunting and Conservation Expo, February 12th through 15th at the Salt Palace Convention Center. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, calling for 48 as a daytime high, mostly cloudy skies today, and a slight chance for some isolated showers, especially towards the evening. 56, showers on your Wednesday, breezy. More showers possible on Thursday, 50 degrees. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
We have a few showers around Salt Lake City. It's 45 degrees, and we are halfway through the legislative session. A look back at what's been accomplished thus far. Stay here just a few. We're streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com or on the KSL News Radio app. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only. Friday through Sunday, 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Utah State Fair Park. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington County Fair Legacy Park. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Starting price is too low to advertise. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. Deep discounts. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpa.com.
You know, it's frustrating. It really is. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn around and they waste your money. Americans are getting fed up, rightfully so. And that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with a free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. Call today, 801-896-9622. That number again, 801-896-9622.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
KSL News Time, 3:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
the jury selection process is now underway for the murder trial of Corey Richens, the Camas mother accused of poisoning her husband, then writing a children's book about grief. In Park City, I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Governor Cox is encouraging the world to come visit the U.S. ahead of 2034 and see that there's much more to the country than what they hear on the news. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
Crashes causing delays westbound on the 201 freeway in Magna and northbound I-15 in Linden. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Keeping it cloudy today with highs in the upper 40s and maybe a PM shower possible. I'm Matt Johnson.
A few showers and 45 at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios now. Our top national stories.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. The FBI released new images and videos showing a masked individual at the front door of Nancy Guthrie's home on the day she vanished. The mother of Today anchor Savannah Guthrie disappeared 10 days ago. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
As the videos and photos retrieved from Nancy Guthrie's front doorbell camera are going out around the world now, Savannah Guthrie has taken to Instagram, writing, quote, "We believe she is still alive. Bring her home," end quote. In the video, the intruder is wearing a full ski mask with only his eyes and his mouth showing. At one point, he holds a flashlight in his mouth while he tries to cover up the camera. He tries to put brush over the camera lens. He has gloves on, a backpack. There's what appears to be a gun in his front waistband as he manipulates the camera, eventually just hitting it with his fist.
Law enforcement sources tell ABC News the Guthrie family was shown the images prior to their public release. NBC News reports the Guthrie family did not recognize the person in the images, which is why they were released publicly. This is ABC News.
3:47 today marks the halfway point of the 2026 legislative session. Lawmakers have debated everything from traffic rules to wages. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera looks at some of the key moments from the first half of the session.
At the halfway mark, lawmakers have filed an extraordinary number of bills. 850 proposals so far. It's well above normal, and so far only about 40 plus bills have passed both chambers and been sent to the governor, and the governor has signed 10 into law. One that's moving is HB 128. It would drop Utah's requirement to use a turn signal in a roundabout. It's passed the House and cleared a Senate committee. Another is HB 275, a red light camera pilot. It's still early, but it would test cameras at intersections and track red light running. KSL's digital team tells me one of the most viral moments was the chemtrails bill, SB 23, but was stopped in committee. And finally, HB 197 on sensitive materials in schools hasn't been heard in House education just yet. Bottom line, the second half is where bills either take off or quietly die. Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
A new proposal would change the way Utahns vote by mail. This bill would require you to turn in your ballot in person. So you'd get your ballot in the mail, but would have to show up and hand it over on Election Day in order to have your vote counted. And yes, you would have to show valid ID to an election worker. Experts say a lot of Utahns could be discouraged from voting if they're required to submit their ballots in person.
A report detailing vote-by-mail elections written by Sutherland Institute Director Derek Monson shows Utah has a long history of mail-in voting, and it has historically been secure and successful. He says if citizens are required to turn in their ballots by hand, it could discourage voting.
Think of it in an example of a rural voter where they may live hours away from their clerk's office, in some instances. So that could be a notable burden.
In 2018, over 90% of votes came by mail. Monson says he understands verifying voter ID, but there are methods that will not create undue burden on citizens. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 3:49. Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. Here's Cormac Bone.
Normal commute congestion still southbound I-15 from 5300 South Murray to 7200 South Midvale. Northbound I-15 delays are setting in. This is from the I-80-201 interchange up to 13th South, and then slow again from 600 North. Spotty, scattered slowdown, 600 North to the North interchange. Once you pass that, you're in the clear I-15 through Davis and Weber counties. Slowing on southbound Highway 89 coming down the hill and approaching the I-84 interchange. Eric.
Bangerter Highway southbound slow from 700 south just south of the airport down to about 3500 south. And we've got the same slowdowns approaching 35th south on Mountain View Corridor and 201 Highway westbound from 5600 West Mountain View heading out to Magna. You got slowdowns there as well. Down in Utah County, I-15 starting to show some reduced speeds on the northbound side as you go from 1600 north in Orem through Linden up to the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit. Are you tired of dealing with missing teeth? Are you ready to ditch the dentures? The experts at Stubbs Dental can change your life with dental implants. Get started at StubbsDental.com today. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts out with a deck of clouds today. We'll go mostly cloudy. 30% chance for a shower, mainly in the evening. 48 the high. 56 tomorrow. Valley rain showers and mountain snow showers. Breezy. 56 showers likely again on Thursday. Friday, partly cloudy, 47. Dry again on Saturday, 51. Clouds increase with some wind on Sunday, 56. Then it's mostly cloudy, 30% chance for a shower Monday, breezy out of the south. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
A few showers around, 45 degrees. Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. And we're going to be ending the show a little early. The Cougs are in Texas at Baylor. The pregame for men's basketball is at 4, tip-off at 5 here on KSL News Radio. I'm just going to sit here in front of the microphone and tell myself the weather, you know?
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, only on KSL News Radio.
So my wife and I, we both woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday. The house was ice cold, like igloo cold, and I thought, oh no, the heat isn't working. So I got on my phone and brought up the thermostat app because I'm not walking down the hall to see what's going on. It's too cold. Turns out I set the heat to 60 degrees. I turned it up, the house got warm, but I should have known the heat was working because every winter we get the Any Hour Services 29-point furnace tune-up. It's like an oil change for your car, a little maintenance that saves you big trouble down the road. And if anything's wrong with your furnace, Any Hour will diagnose and fix it with upfront pricing. You get no surprises. The best part, the furnace tune-up costs less than a fast food dinner for the family, and lately, way less. So check their 27,000 Google reviews and make an appointment at anyhour.com. And be smart. Check the thermostat before you go to bed.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Founded in 2022, Proximity creates easy-to-use technology that helps candidates, elected officials, and organizations connect with people, organize their work, and strengthen civic engagement. Founder and CEO Becky Wright joins us with more.
Campaigns run on relationships, but most teams run their relationships across 5 tools, 10 spreadsheets, and 100 text threads. With contacts in one place, outreach in another, and events somewhere else, it's like hunting for that one charging cord you need in a drawer full of tangled cables from phones you don't even own anymore. Proximity brings it closer together. We're software powering democracy, a modern platform that helps campaigns and community leaders organize contacts, run outreach, manage fundraising, and keep supporters engaged from start to finish. With a built-in automation and AI support, Proximity helps teams stay on top of priorities, spot what needs attention, and make smarter decisions faster without losing the personal touch. The result is simple: less time managing tools and more time building trust. Whether you're asking for votes, gathering signatures, inviting volunteers, or just engaging with your community, Proximity turns connection into action. Because democracy works best when your tools work best.
By helping Utah leaders run more efficient campaigns and outreach, Proximity supports transparency, saves time, and strengthens the civic infrastructure behind our growing economy and future growth. Visit proximityimpact.com. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
This Friday from 10 to 1, the movie show comes to Sound Sleep. But first, take time to learn about a better night's rest. Sound Sleep delivers oral appliance therapy that treats sleep apnea without the use of CPAP machines. They're professionally fit, warranted, and covered by most major medical insurance. End the days of a poor night's sleep. With offices from Clearfield to St. George, Sound Sleep will help. Call Sound Sleep at 801-716-8672 today. When you need the financial products and services for every stage of life, Cyprus Credit Union is there for whatever the future holds. Visit cypruscu.com today.
We're watching Utah's money at KSL. We had to wait a few extra days, but the monthly jobs report comes out tomorrow. A lot of economists predict it's not worth waiting for. We'll see little job growth and few jobs created last month. The report's going to be 5 days late because of last week's brief government shutdown. Spotify's fourth quarter earnings are out and they beat expectations. The stock up 16% on the news. The company also mentioned it was their most successful Spotify Wrapped ever. 300 million users got their stats. And on Wall Street today, a mixed market. The Dow up 52 points, while the S&P was down 23. The Nasdaq fell 136 points. KSL News Time 3:56. Time for Cougar Tracks, brought to you by Advanced Window Products, high-quality, affordable replacement windows, Jimmer approved. Check out their Window Mania. Here's BYU insider Mitch Harper.
BYU basketball dropped 6 spots in the latest AP Top 25 poll. They are now down to number 22 amidst a 4-game losing streak. Tonight they take on the Baylor Bears. It's a return for guard Rob Wright III, who was part of Baylor's program last year before transferring to BYU this season. Baylor head coach Scott Drew on Wright's return to Waco.
At the end of the day, I know when we go on the road, you face hostile crowds, and that's why it's partly hard to win on the road. And again, Rob, when he played here, a lot of good memories. Obviously, it's hard anytime people leave your program, but that happens more and more. You prefer it to be not after they sign a contract with you, but it is what it is.
BYU versus Baylor tips off tonight at 5 p.m. with pregame coverage starting at 4 right here on KSL. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars. KSL News Radio.
What's up, Utah? This is Jimmer Fredette. You know, back in the day, Jimmer Mania was all about making big shots. Now it's time for Window Mania. Get $2,500 off when you buy 10 windows or more from Advanced Window Products. Call them today at 801-850-9100. If your old drafty windows are a turnover, costing you money every month, it's time for a game changer. These guys are the home team. They're a local, family-owned company that manufactures their windows right here in Salt Lake City. They're built by Utah for our crazy Utah climate. When you buy from Advanced Window Products, you're buying factory direct. No middleman. That's how you score a winning deal. Their windows are tough on defense, blocking out the heat and the cold, which saves you serious money on your energy bills. And here's the slam dunk. Their lifetime warranty, which even covers accidental glass breakage, that's peace of mind you can't get from the other guys. Get in on Window Mania and tell them Jimmer sent you. Call 801-850-9100 or advancedwindows.com.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah, 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. Here's Cormac Bone.
Delays on I-15 in Salt Lake waiting for you on your way home. Southbound I-15 going from Murray into Midvale, and again slow at 106 South in South Jordan. Otherwise, you're good till the point of the mountain. Northbound I-15, those delays start at I-80 201 interchange up to 13th South, and then again slow from 600 North to the North interchange. But through Weber and Davis counties, you shouldn't see any delays on I-15. Slowing still on Highway 89 in South Ogden at Harrison Boulevard and Skyline Drive and at the mouth of Weber Canyon. Eric.
Southbound 15 looks good in Utah County. The pace dragging a little bit still northbound as you go from Linden up to Pleasant Grove Boulevard. Homeowners, Gillette Services is putting $1,000 in your pocket with a rebate on new installations, and you pay nothing until 2027. Call 385-GET-HEAT for your free estimate. Comfort now, pay later. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Showers could develop overnight with a low of 41. Tomorrow we get valley showers and mountain snow. Expect a high of 56. Thursday, more of the same, maybe with a thunderstorm mixed in. The sunshine comes back on Friday.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The following is a presentation of the new skid, BYU Sports Network. BYU Cougars basketball is on the air.
Look low to AJ, hands off to Richie. Richie for three. Got it to go! Richie Saunders!
This is Mountain America Cougar pregame live. Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics. Getting you ready for BYU versus Baylor. Here's your host, Matt Baiamonte.
What's up, Cougar Nation? Welcome into Cougar Pregame Live, presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics. Tonight, the number 22 BYU Cougars are back on the road and looking for a much-needed win to snap a 4-game losing streak. It's been nearly 21 years since BYU had a 5-game losing streak that happened late in the 2005 season. However, that team, they weren't playing in the Big 12 Conference, one of, if not the premier conference in all of college basketball. BYU did fall 6 spots in the rankings this week, down to number 22. However, 3 of those 4 losses during this winless streak were against teams now ranked in the top 10. It's important to keep things in perspective. Head coach Kevin Young told the media yesterday the morale is good. The Cougars are still pounding the rock. KY wants this team to learn from those losses while not losing confidence during the losing streak. Tonight's matchup will be a good test of exactly that. Baylor is a beatable team. They're 2-3 in their last 5 conference games, and they're 3-8 overall in the Big 12. With that being said, there are no guaranteed wins in this league. We relearned that last week in a loss against Oklahoma State. The Bears' best player is Cameron Carr, a transfer from the University of Tennessee. He's averaging 20 points per game while shooting 41% from 3. They're coached by Scott Drew. He's been at Baylor for 23 seasons as the head coach. He led them to a national championship back in 2021 when they defeated Gonzaga 86-70. He coached BYU guard Rob Wright last season before Rob transferred to Provo. Considering Rob's exit, plus the fanfare around AJ, and BYU being ranked in the top 25, Coach Burgess and this coaching staff fully expects another difficult road environment.
I feel like no matter who's on your roster, every venue you play at is rocking. But, last year we did this with Cabo, right? We went back to the Huntington Center up to Salt Lake City. And we didn't really address it right. We just kind of just keep the main thing with the main thing, which is our defensive game plan, which is, trying to build off some of the toughness. We showed in Houston, despite the loss, right? There were some good things that we took from that game against a really good, potential Final Four team. So we haven't really addressed it. Like Rob's obviously really good spirits. We, did some shoot around last night and today. Like Rob's a gamer, right? He just wants to hoop. But try not to make it bigger than it actually is. Like for us, we're just trying to find any win we can at this point. We're trying to play the right way. We're trying to follow the game plan. And so it is going to be rocking. They're always rocking, man. Like Lubbock is rocking. Everybody we play, Oklahoma State was rocking. And so I don't think that's going to change. Obviously, it'll be a little bit more directed at him, but it is what it is. It's kind of this day and age, right? Like people leave every year and you have to lead in conference. You're going to get it. So you just got to embrace it, own it, shut them up.
What were some of the things learned on a positive note from that Houston performance?
Yeah, not to get into the metrics, but, I think Houston is one of the best teams in the country at turning you over. We really took care of the ball. Look, we had lost 3 in a row. We had played away Oklahoma State that zero toughness, right? Just didn't play, our brand of basketball. Despite winning or losing, man, we just didn't play. We didn't play tough. We didn't compete. A lot of it credit to Oklahoma State. So we felt like in Houston, right? Like they're gonna take away your spirit. They're gonna take away your will if you play that way. And so we thought we came out with a sense of toughness and keeping them off the glass, right? A sense of toughness on not letting them take away our basketball, which we did at Oklahoma State. I think 5 quick turnovers, right? So we took care of the basketball. We kept them off the glass for the most part. Now they obviously wore us down in the second half, and there was that it felt like a 10-minute stretch, but it was probably just 2 minutes where we just could not grab basketball. So obviously we got to build off that. We got to build off, our free throw shooting, but we felt like we competed, man. We gave ourselves a chance. We just have to, win within the margins. You do that in the free throw line. You do that by continuing to keep them off the glass, and honestly finishing around the rim, which we didn't do a good job of. So we executed our stuff. Man, we were dialed in on, Emmanuel Sharp, who's always hurt BYU just in terms of his three-point shooting. He only got off 4 threes. I know that sounds crazy, but like that dude was always done a really good job against us. We were dialed in there. I thought we did a good job on Kingston, right? He's going to score just because the dude's got the ball in his hands the whole time, and he's a lottery pick, but we did a good job making it tough on him. So we have to be, and our crowd was phenomenal, right? They kept us, they give us so much energy, and we got to create that somehow, right? We got to create that on the road within ourselves, amongst our team, and have like a bench that's together. It's easy to be together when, you got 20,000 BYU fans screaming. Can you do that on the road where, the opposing fans are screaming at you? So we got to lock in on that.
Thought another positive from Houston was the performance of AJ. He's just been on another level these last 5 games, almost 30 points a game. What do you make of this dude's just ability to rise to the occasion?
He's a generational talent, right? He's a natural born scorer. He's making the right plays too. Like, I know he had 28 points, and he's a really good free throw shooter and left money on the table on his free throws, which is uncharacteristic of him. And he's making the right play. Like, they're throwing doubles at him in the post. They were throwing doubles at him on his drives, and he was playing off 2 feet. He was finding Rob. He was finding Richie. Like, we got to shoot. Some guys got to knock some shot down, right? But he wasn't forcing it. I felt like his 28 was like, there's a reason he's efficient, right? Like, he's looking to make the right play, right? And his ability to get fouled, get to the line, his ability to score on the rim. Obviously, his 3-point shot is on another level right now, which is, I've always felt he's a good shooter. He's just starting to come into form there, which is nice to see. But I thought, man, he just made the right plays. And I'll say the same thing about Rob. Like, the way that Houston plays and how they blitz and double screen, ball screens, we were trying to keep Rob out of that just because Tugler's huge, man. And so you're asking Rob to get doubled by a guy like Tugler and see over the trap. Like, that's dumb on our part if we want to do that. So we were putting AJ out there more of a pick and roll guy and initiators just because his size and his length and his ability to see over Tugler and manipulate that double team just makes more sense, right? And so I thought Rob, when he did have times to get to the rim, shoot open shots, play off 2 feet, find the open man, I thought he did a good job, man. I think, everyone wants to look at assists, but like, what about the assist opportunities? Dude had 10, I think it was like 8 or 10 assist opportunities, meaning like he passed the ball to the open man and the open man shot it. Forget about the ball went in, shot it, right? That's an assist opportunity. So I thought he did a good job there, and he's growing and getting better in that area. And the other thing was like the ball in AJ's hands and Rob off the ball, because Rob's shooting like 45% from 3, catch and shoot, right? So we're putting another shooter around AJ. So like, as coaches, we're trying to be smart, right? We're trying to look into the analytics and put guys in positions to do well. But I feel like we can build off that.
Last thing, Baylor's capable. I know their conference record's not great, but every game in the Big 12 is hard, right? How do you guys get a win? What do you need to do to get a win against Baylor?
They're good, man. First of all, you got Scott Drew running the team, and I don't care who they return or didn't return. It's Scott Drew, and he's one of the best coaches in college basketball for a long time. And they've got a group of players. They got 2 first-round picks, and Yusefo, number 24, and Cameron Carr, number 43. These guys are incredible talents, scorers, size, athletic ability, length. To answer your question, right, especially at home for them in Waco, like, we have to keep them out of transition, and we have to, right? And they got multiple guys that are going to grab the rebound, and they're going coast to coast, right? And they're attacking the rim. Obviously, number 5, Obi Ajibim, like, obviously he's lights out shooter in transition, but at the end of the day, like, we have to sprint back. We have to build a wall. We have to keep them in the half court, because at home, especially, they're running and they're attacking the rim. So transition defense has to be on point. It was not at Oklahoma State, right? It just was not. The other thing is you got to keep them off the glass. They got 4 guys, if Skilling's play, if Dan Skilling's plays, which he's missed the last 2 games, they got 4 guys that all average around 2 to 3 offensive rebounds. So second chance points, they're 3rd in our conference in second chance points. And it starts with Caden Powell, number 44, their center. Yusufo's around 2. Rataj, the Oregon State transfer, is around 2. Skillings is around 2. The G League kid, Najee's, in his limited time is over 1, right? And then, gosh, I know I'm forgetting some, but essentially they have 4 or 5 guys that all around 2 have to keep them off the glass, right? And if we take away those 2 things, regardless of what they run, regardless of the threes they make, because they got shooters, we can keep them out of transition. We can limit transition, and we can limit the offensive rebound, second chance points. You do that on the road, you give yourself a chance to be in a position to win the game. You don't, it's going to be a long night.
That was BYU assistant coach Chris Burgess. Thanks for the chat, Coach Burgess. After a quick timeout, we'll look at some we will not look at some scores. We'll do that in a little bit, but next we'll go to Foster Pavilion in Waco, Texas for our courtside conversation with Mark Durrant. Cougar Pregame Live continues in a moment on the new skin BYU Sports Network.
Enjoy more ways to save at Smith's, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Smith's app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Smith's, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Smith's, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Cougar fans, it's time to make the winning play with the BYU card from Mountain America Credit Union. Available as both debit and credit, the BYU card is the perfect way to show your true blue colors while you shop. Don't miss out. Score your BYU cards today at any Mountain America branch or visit macu.com/BYU card for details. Insured by NCUA. Loans on approved credit. Membership required based on eligibility.
Game day traffic on KSL News Radio, brought to you by UCCU. Up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. Right now we do have traffic heavy and slow southbound I-15 approaching the I-80-201 junction, and again from Murray at 45th South into Draper. Northbound I-15 bogged down at the Bangerter Highway exit, and again 2100 South almost to the 6 South exit downtown. Another patch of slowing between 6 North and the North Interchange in North Salt Lake, westbound on the 21st South Freeway. Traffic building approaching I-215's West Belt, but bigger delays are in place and waiting for you from 5600 West on over to Magna. And if you're in Utah County, delays if you're traveling westbound on 2100 North in Lehigh right after you're passing and exiting I-15. At UTA, we move your early mornings, your long days, your big plans. We move purpose. We move you. Plan your trip at rideuta.com. From the KSL Traffic Center, I'm Ricky Meese.
Here's Matt Baiamonte with more Mountain America Cougar Pregame Live on the new skin BYU Sports Network.
Welcome back to Cougar Pregame Live. It's time for our courtside conversation with Mark Durrant, presented by R&R Barbecue. You can't spell Durrant without R&R. R&R Barbecue, good food, real protein, and it's built for Cougar Nation. Joining me from Foster Pavilion is Mark Durrant. Mark, I thought in the last game against Houston, despite the loss, there was a lot of positives. I liked the physicality. I thought AJ was great. What were some of your positive takeaways from that performance?
Yeah, I agree. I've had different emotions about different losses, and that one was more, I just felt like Houston was really good. I thought BYU gave the requisite effort, even more effort than what was really needed. They gave the effort that at least makes me not happy about a loss, but can swallow it a little bit better and just feel like BYU got beat by a better team. But I just, if guys play hard, that goes a long way with me, and especially after watching and listening to that Oklahoma State game, I think this team, it was a challenge, from the coaches, from themselves, and I think they passed it. I thought AJ, as good as he's been and offensively, I thought it was his best defensive game. I thought people really did a good job of playing their guy man-to-man, so you didn't need to have as much help as we've seen. And really, it was defensively, I think they did enough to win. Offensively, they missed some opportunities, which may have given them a win. But that was just a really good Houston team. So what I hope to see now is translate that same level of effort against Baylor, who's not as good as Houston, but they are at home and are dangerous. But I think if I see that similar type of effort from BYU, that they'll have success tonight and will come out with a win, which they desperately need. I mean, they desperately need a win here. This could be really problematic if you leave Waco with a loss. And I don't want to contemplate that too much, but I'm confident in saying that if I see that similar effort against Houston tonight, that BYU will not leave here with a loss.
I don't want to contemplate that either, Mark. So we'll focus on the good. I love what you said about AJ. He had 28 against Houston, 9 of 14, super efficient. His last 5 games, he's really elevated his game, close to 30 points a game, shooting over 50% from 3. We've talked a lot about AJ this season, and rightfully so, but I feel like he just continues to exceed what were super high expectations.
I love watching AJ, and let me say this about AJ. On these trips, we get here, and there's an optional shoot around after we land and get to the hotel. And AJ has been to every one of them. And he was here last night, and he's been working. I mean, he's great. He's got a lot of physical attributes that help him to be great, but he's great because he puts in the work. And all the great players do that. You don't accidentally become great. You don't, just kind of bluff your way into being great. He works at it. And I think that's most evident in his three-point shooting. I mean, he must have shot hundreds of three-pointers last night in this gym, and he's been doing that all year. And whereas that might have been a weakness for him early, it's really become a strength. He has been on fire from the three-point line. And if you have to then contend with AJ from the three-point line, if that becomes a strength, good luck. I mean, that's amazing. And his shot looks different to me than it was earlier. There's more loft. It looks really, really good. I have extreme confidence in AJ shooting that three, and he was here with Rob. Rob has been unbelievable from the three-point line, but that comes from work. And so it's no surprise to me that AJ's numbers are going up. And he's trying to do all he can to help this team win. He needs a little help from some other people, but certainly AJ has been great this year and continues to improve, and I think that's because he just loves the game and loves to work hard to get better.
Mark, I wish we had more time, but I guess the benefits of an early tip is we're actually going to start on time, so that's going to be nice.
Go figure. Yeah. And next time we'll pontificate at greater length.
Sounds great. Looking forward to you and Greg on the call. Appreciate it, Mark.
All right. See you, Matt.
All right, after a quick timeout, we'll recap a wild one last night in the Big 12 that could have conference championship ramifications. We'll discuss that next. You're listening to Cougar Pregame Live on the new skin, BYU Sports Network.
You need another bathroom. You want a back patio retreat. We have a plan. If you're looking to start a home improvement project, a discounted home equity line of credit from Zions Bank is an easy, affordable way to turn your home's equity into opportunity. Stop by your local branch to get started or visit zionsbank.com/HELOC to learn more. Loan subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. See banker for details. A division of Zions Bank Corporation, N.A., member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS number 467014.
The power of we believes in you. It advocates for you. It completes your circle. It makes sure you have the strongest circle possible. And with Intermountain Health in yours, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Game day traffic on KSL News Radio, brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.44% on savings at uccu.com. Well, for those on the drive home, that northbound slowdown on I-15 is getting slower as you go from 2100 south, the I-80 201 junction up to the 6 south exit. Also, heavy and slow North Temple up to the north interchange. After that, though, you are right back to the posted limit through the rest of Davis and Weber counties. Looking good on West Davis and Legacy. Highway 89, though, you could see some slowing southbound, not far from the Walmart. If you're southbound I-15 in Salt Lake County, our typical delays are setting in. A little busy as you're going from downtown to 2100 south. And then Murray, it starts right about 45th South into Draper at 114th South. The 21st South Freeway seeing westbound heavy and slow traffic between I-15 and the West Belt. And again, 5600 West into Magna. All clear, I-15 both directions in Utah County. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
With more Mountain America Cougar pregame live, here's Matt Baiamonte.
Welcome back into Cougar Pregame Live, presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics. We're getting you ready for number 22 BYU and the Baylor Bears. Last night, big Monday, big game at the Fog, and the Jayhawks continue a remarkable run in the conference. 10 wins in a row. They gave the unanimous number one, Arizona Wildcats, their first loss of the season, 82-78, without Darren Peterson. And that's becoming a storyline we don't have time to get into, but, man, Kansas is playing good ball right now, 19-5 on the year. We'll discuss more scores in the Big 12 on Cougar Halftime Live. Coming up next, we'll send you to the Utah Ice Center's courtside seats inside Foster Pavilion for Cougar Pregame Coaches Show. With Greg Wrubell, you're listening to BYU Basketball on the new skin BYU Sports Network.
You need a deck. You want a pool. We have a plan. If you're looking to start a home improvement project, a discounted home equity line of credit from Zions Bank is an easy, affordable way to turn your home's equity into opportunity. Stop by your local branch to get started or visit zionsbank.com/HELOC to learn more. Loan subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. See banker for details. A division of Zions Bank Corporation, NA member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 467014.
Cougar fans, whether you're headed to the big game or traveling home, make sure your drive is as smooth as a BYU touchdown pass or alley-oop dunk. Idaho Traffic Safety reminds you to slow down, especially in construction zones. Posted speeds save lives, yours, ours, and the hardworking crews along the road. So buckle up, drive smart, and let's get everyone home safe, win or lose. This reminder is brought to you by Idaho Traffic Safety, keeping Cougar Nation moving safely forward.
Game day traffic on KSL News Radio, brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. Northbound I-15, it is filling in and slowing down at the point of the mountain up to Bangerter Highway in Draper. In that exit, those two right lanes really slow. Then more northbound slowdowns on I-15 as you go from 2100 south to North Salt Lake at the north interchange. Southbound I-15 crowded, and you're going to be dragging a bit, leaving downtown on the way to the I-80 201 junction. More delays already in place just where you'd expect. Southbound I-15, 4500 South Murray into Sandy. The 21st South Freeway seeing some heavy traffic, and it's not running at the posted limit. It's slow going from I-15 over to the West Belt, and more delays from 5600 West into Magna. If you're traveling I-15 in Davis County between the North Interchange and Hill Air Force Base, no problems. Looking good on West Davis and Legacy as well. A clear drive on I-80 through Parley's. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
This is the Zions Bank Cougar Pregame Coaches Show on the new skin BYU Sports Network. Zions Bank. Make smarter plays and build stronger finances with Zions Bank. Let's take you courtside and join the voice of the Cougars, Greg Wrubell.
Good evening, Cougar basketball fans. We welcome you courtside inside Foster Pavilion in Waco, Texas, as two struggling teams square off in a Big 12 midweek matchup. The 22nd-ranked BYU Cougars on a 4-game losing streak. They're 5-5 in conference play. The Baylor Bears have lost 5 of 7 and sit 3-8 in the Big 12. But the Bears are showing signs. They've won 2 of their last 3 games, and Baylor played ranked Iowa State to a 3-point loss Saturday in Ames. My name is Greg Wrubell. I'll have your play-by-play call tonight, joined courtside by my 29-season broadcast partner, the former Cougar hoopster Mark Durant. Mark, in BYU's current 4-game losing streak, the Cougs have faced 3 top 10 teams. But the one outlier loss came at Oklahoma State, a team that, like Baylor, has a losing record in league play. But as the Cowboys showed the Cougars in Stillwater, every Big 12 team can be dangerous and is, especially on its home floor. And Baylor will beat BYU if the Cougs play without urgency, which appeared to be the case last week at Oklahoma State, but the Cougs did have urgency against a much better team in Houston on the weekend, just didn't get the result they wanted.
Yeah, the result was the same, but it was a different game. It was clear to see that BYU was playing with great effort, with urgency, and we're in that game against probably one of the best couple teams in the nation, obviously, with Houston. So you can kind of explain those away, but I think your point is that this BYU team is not good enough to just overpower people and have a ho-hum game and still win on the road. Some teams are good enough to do that. BYU is not. They're going to have to use that same effort we saw against Houston here to expect to win. This Baylor team believes they can win. They're playing confidently. They're at home. So BYU better have that same effort. I think if they do, they'll come away with the win.
We'll hear the pregame thoughts of BYU head coach Kevin Young after this break as the Zions Bank Cougar pregame coaches show continues live from Foster Pavilion in Waco, Texas on the new skin BYU Sports Network.
You need another bathroom. You want a back patio retreat. We have a plan. If you're looking to start a home improvement project, a discounted home equity line of credit from Zions Bank is an easy, affordable way to turn your home's equity into opportunity. Stop by your local branch to get started or visit zionsbank.com/HELOC to learn more. Loan subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. See banker for details. A division of Zions Bank Corporation, N.A., member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS number 467014.
Time out, Cougar fans. Are you ready to slam dunk dinner? Introducing Beehive Meals, your all-star for easy family dinners. Beehive Meals does all the prep work so you don't have to, then delivers 10 frozen meals right to your door. Just pop them in the slow cooker and you're set for a buzzer beater in flavor. Beehive Meals is the ultimate assist for busy families. Now available for shipping, so there'll be no more missed shots at dinner. Beehive Meals has got you covered. Visit beehivemeals.com and make tonight's dinner the winning play.
Game day traffic on KSL News Radio. Brought to you by UCCU. Up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. We do have some slowdowns on northbound I-15. If you are headed from 2100 south to downtown, it's slow all the way to the 6 South exit. More slowing from North Temple up to the North Interchange in North Salt Lake. And southbound I-15, traffic really coming to a crawl just after 7200 south. And that's in addition to the regular drive-home delays stretching back through Murray at 4500 south. Once you're past that, you'll have more heavy and slow traffic southbound I-15 in Draper, approaching and passing Bangerter Highway, the 21st South Freeway. The westbound delays easing just a bit, now starting after I-15 over to I-215, but still pretty solid between 5600 West in West Valley out to Magna. A clear drive both directions of I-15 in Utah County between the Point and Provo, but northbound I-15 a little bogged down at the Point up to Bangerter Highway in Draper. All clear over to the east on the freeways of I-80 in the Valley and in the Canyon and I-215. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's time to hear from BYU head coach Kevin Young as we return to the Zions Bank Cougar Pregame Coaches Show. Here's Greg Wrubell.
We are coming to you from Foster Pavilion in Waco. This 7,000-seat venue opened only 25 months ago. In fact, BYU played the first Big 12 men's basketball game ever in this building in January of 2024. Baylor won that game in these teams' first Big 12 meeting. BYU got payback later that season at the Marriott Center, and then the Cougs beat the Bears in their only get-together last season in Provo. BYU leads the all-time series 7-6, but the Cougars have never won a game in Waco, going 0-2 all-time in this town. If BYU doesn't win tonight, it'll be a 5-game losing streak for the first time in almost 21 years. Time now for my pregame interview with BYU head coach Kevin Young, presented by Zions Bank. For all of your personal and business banking needs, visit us online at zionsbank.com or stop by your local Zions Bank branch to meet with a banker in person. Let us show you all the ways Zions Bank is for you. And tonight, Coach Young says there is indeed an urgent need to stop the Cougs' current 4-game slide.
I feel like no matter who's on your roster.
Yeah, I think so. We talked about, I thought we did play with a lot of urgency against Houston. Came up short, but I saw a lot of good things there from a mentality standpoint that, I'm really hoping to see our guys dip in that well and not dip into the Oklahoma State well. And that's kind of that level of urgency, something we talked about quite a bit.
You talk about rebounding a lot, and Baylor's one of those teams that does give themselves a lot of second chances on the offensive glass.
They do, and they do it by committee. There's a lot of guys that crash, particularly from the perimeter. And obviously they're big inside. Powell does a good job, but some we've talked about all year long. It's been a strength of ours. Thing with rebounding, man, is it's one of those deals where you got to consistently do it. We saw that the other night where, for the most part, we did a good job on our glass in that last.
There was one stretch there.
Yeah, one stretch, and that cost us the game. And so it's got to be something that we constantly are mindful of.
The Big 12 is such a great freshman league, as we know, and Baylor's yet another one of those teams with a talented freshman in Yesufu.
Yeah, he's a load. He's a good player. He can really score the basketball. Super aggressive. I think one of the most aggressive scorers, in terms of how much he goes after it, I would say, in our league. And so we'll have to do, you play a guy like that, it's not just on the guy guarding him, it's on everybody to be mindful of, helping and being, being the help in the gaps and things of that nature.
A name that popped up as familiar to me was, of course, Obi Agbem. You saw him at the Delta Center last year when you played Wyoming. He had a nice game, scored 21 that night.
Yeah, he's a good player. I think he's shooting a